Hello valued viewers, I hope you're all doing very well. It's been at least 12 months, maybe 18 months since we've looked into the real details of the F-16 and the F-18 in DCS. In that time, a lot has changed. Probably the most important thing is additions of functions of the Datalink, which are really important and really useful, added late October 2023. It applies to both the F-16 and the F-18, but just to keep things deconflicted, today we'll look at it from the F-16's point of view. The three main uses of this we're going to look at are first, air-to-air, sharing aerial contact information over the Datalink and sharing aerial target information over the Datalink. Also, air-to-ground, sharing ground target information, SPIs and mark points. And finally, anti-radiation work, sharing information with regards to the HTS, the Harm Targeting System. First, we'll start with the air-to-air stuff. For me to really convey what I want to show you, we're going to run a series of small missions, and I'm going to show making those missions because it's all very important. It all links together. This will be quite a long video, unfortunately, and it will be full of lots of technical information, so please get a coffee and sit with me. First, absolute simple scenario. I'm going to put in a F-16. I'm going to call him Cap. I'm going to make his pilot name Cap-1. I'm going to make his call sign. I'm in a Viper, so let's make it Viper. Viper 1-1. I'm going to make me fly in that direction. I'm going to make myself a client. And that's it. All I need is my air-to-air radar. I am going to have a couple of friends with me, so we can share aerial information over the Datalink. Just to show that we can operate between airframes, I'm going to make these F-18. So I've got an F-18 there. This F-18 is going to be called Simba.
Simba has to fly a bog.
Yes, he does. Simba-1 is his pilot name. Let's get it all right. And he's going to clearly be... No, Hornet. That's even better. 430 knots, so you're the same speed. That's you done, Simba. I'm going to make another one. I'm going to copy you and put you there. Have we still got Poosh here?
Yes.
Poosh, you're going to be flying with us today as well. Poosh 1. You're going to be Springfield 1-1. Okay, guys. That is us. We need a baddie, or at least a radar contact that we can look at. So let's make a guy here. Let's make a guy there. Let's make him red. Let's make him a TU-22, flying at 490 knots, 6,000 feet. That's all fine. Going that way at just over 100 miles. All right. And that is actually the mission done. I'm going to save that as F-16 Datalink nothing, because we've done no links at all. So just to reiterate, we've got me in an F-16 there, Simba in an F-18 there, Poosh in an F-18 there. We're 100 plus miles from a target there. There is nothing linking our aircraft together. We've not asked them to link together in a Datalink. That will come shortly. So guys, just to set a baseline, I'm going to save that. Let's run that in multiplayer and let's see what we see through my aircraft.
Push ready.
All right, guys, I'm pausing. Please put yourself on autopilot or whatever. Just fly straight forward. Try and find, but not lock, the hostile with your radars. Set your data links up, please, guys, so that you can transmit. Let me know when you see the target. He's currently 100 miles away.
Got him.
Right.
Push, got him.
All right, so the Hornets see the target. They are not transmitting any of that information through the Datalink, or at least I'm not receiving it. Why do they see it and I don't see it? They've got more powerful radars. They can see further than my F-16 radar. Why doesn't one of you try locking the target, please?
All right, locked.
You know, just to show you that if they lock, nothing will change. Right, there's nothing else to show apart from when I eventually get close enough to so my radar can pick it up. And there's my radar picking it up at 80 miles or whatever that is. So that's it. Pretty simple experiment. There was no transmission of data between those aircraft. Hop out the server, please, guys. We're doing a multiplayer today, viewers, because it's a lot harder and more interesting to show a multiplayer. Everything we show today will work the same with if you want to do it on single player. Right, next, we're going to a second stage of mission. This time, guys, I'm going to add an AWACS in. And this is the only time we'll be using AWACS today, because today is not about AWACS. So AWACS there, do that, go there, and orbit. We now have an AWACS in. Let's save that as AWACS Save, exit, multiplayer. All right, guys, off we go. So exactly the same as we had before, but this time we have an AWACS in. Give it a few seconds to populate. Set your data links up, please, guys. Oh, and would you look at that? This is all obvious stuff, viewers, but I'm establishing a baseline so that everyone's on the same page. With an AWACS in, we automatically are receiving the information of what the AWACS can see. The AWACS can see that bad guy, and so I can see him. We'll run the mission a bit further just to see. Hornets, let me know when you can see the actual hostile on your actual radars.
I've got him locked up.
All right, yep. So, and you can see none of that locking information is coming through. None of that information is coming through to me. So that's it. It's just the AWACS.
The only thing I would add is, like, because of the AWACS, you were able to receive my location and Push's location, but that was because the AWACS was receiving my data link to the AWACS and transmitting it to you. Because before, when we all turned Datalink on, we couldn't see each other, correct?
Yep, good point. I forgot to show that, viewers. On my HSD, on my right screen, I could also now see my friends, my F-18s, and that's because exactly what he said. The F-18s are transmitting to the AWACS is transmitting their locations to me. Right, stage 3, and this is where it gets interesting, viewers. AWACS disappears because AWACS just confuses things. This one is going to be called donators. All right, so everything is set the same, but this time we need to set up the data links of these 3 aircraft. So let's go and see how we do that. We now click on the aircraft. We have 2 new tabs. Well, we have a new tab called Data Link, and we have this one, Additional Properties, where with most of the NATO planes, we have data link information. So let's start here in Additional Properties. We now have voice, call sign, label, voice, call sign number, and STN. The label and the number they're essentially just a name of my aircraft as it will appear on the data link. Everything here is automatically filled out and incremented when you create a new aircraft. So you could just leave it, but we can change it, and why not? Mine, I want to change to CP11, cap 11. My STN, again, I can change that. It's just the system track number, so it's the reference number, if you like, on the data link. I can change it, but I don't want to. One thing to be careful, it's very important when you're setting up a mission not to have multiple aircraft set up on the same STN. That will cause problems, obviously. If you're just creating them one by one, they should increment each time, but it's worth keeping an eye on just to make sure. So that's me set up at that level. Let's just go and check this Hornet here. Check Simba. He is ED. Let's change him to SI 11. He's 202. And finally, Push. You don't have to change these, by the way. Like I said, it's optional. But just because I want to, and that's Push. PO. 2 letters, 2 numbers. Then the most important bit. In the data link tab of my F-16, we have this new option. We have TNDL, that is the new style of data link in DCS. Under that, the tab network. Really important distinction. We have first flight/team members. I'm going to call them team members or just members. And then you have donators. We can add various aircraft in the mission to either donators or members. We can do it in the mission editor here, like I'm showing you, or we can do it in the aircraft, and obviously we'll show you both ways. If we add aircraft to the donators, in terms of air-to-air, they will be able to share radar contacts with me. If I add them to members, they will be able to share the same contact information, but also they will be able to share which contacts they are targeting. So that's the difference between a member and a donator in terms of air-to-air. There are limits to the amount of members and donators you can have per aircraft. For an F-16, it's 8 members and 4 donators, and that will change with each type of aircraft. Right, I'm going to add these guys. To begin with, I would just want to add them as donators, so they can just share the radar contact information, but not the targeted information. So here is the donator tab. I can either add a group and everyone in the group, or I can just add a subunit of each group. Since the groups are just single aircraft, it will make no difference. So I'm going to add Simba, and I'm going to add Push. They're both donators now. It shows their track number. I can delete them if I want and re-add Push. It shows their call sign as I've applied on the data link, their pilot names, and their number in the list. And that's it. Since we're just doing the tutorial from my point of view, I don't need to reciprocate on the F-18s. I'm just going to do it for me. Guys, I'm going to save that as donators, and let's go and see what the difference is with no AWACS. So you can start to see why I'm doing it in these small incremental steps, viewers. Guys, same thing. Find targets, but do not lock them, please. Set your data links up, obviously. They could be F-16s. We will get exactly the same result, viewers. I'm just proving that it doesn't have to be an F-16. Roger.
I've got it. 100 miles off the nose.
Right. Give it a few seconds. Data link always takes a few seconds.
Simba's got it.
Have you got your data link set up, boys?
I do.
I do.
Oh, there it is. Right, there you go, viewers. That is a... I'm just going to pause it because I need to explain to the viewers what's going on. That is a data link contact added by my donators. I can see that it's coming towards me. I can see the range. I can see its altitude. Above it shows the name, the data link name of the guy that's giving it to me. Now, because both of the boys are giving it to me, it's actually overridden that with M. There are multiple donators sending it to me. Otherwise, it would just show their SI11 or whatever. Just Simba, please lock that target.
Target locked.
And you can see it's now changed yellow, but I've got no information on my HSD here about which of these F-18s is actually targeting it. I think that's all I want, and you can see it's on solid now, and that's because it's now in the range of my radar to see it. That's all I want to show at that level. You guys happy? Right, the fourth and final one. We're going to call this one members, viewers, because we're going to start adding in members in different and interesting ways. So, members. I've decided that Poosh over here is going to get a promotion. He's going to go from a donator to a member. So, to my F-16, data link screen, Poosh, delete him off here, and add him on my members. When you add them on members, it's the same, but you get an additional box, TDOA. This is strictly to do with the harm targeting system, anti-radiation stuff, so we don't need that for this mission. Simba has been annoying me lately, and he's going to go completely. So right back to the beginning. Simba is not a donator. He's not a member. I won't be able to receive any information from him. I'm just going to get the information from Poosh. Let's save that up. Right, Poosh, my friendly member, look for a hostile, but do not lock him, please. And please report when you see a hostile, or a contact, I should say.
Bogey at 12 o'clock.
All right, just let that come through the data link. We'll take a few seconds, and there it is. Can you please now lock that target?
Locked.
You can see now, because he's a member, we know he's a member because he's blue. He's a blue symbol rather than a green symbol on here. Also, we know that he's locked the hostile because he has this dotted line showing that he's locked. All right, Poosh, I've decided I don't like you anymore, so I'm going to get rid of you completely as a member. So I go to list here. I go to E here, data link. That's enter. I'm going to go Dobber right once, Dobber right twice. The other two were information about the data link, but not important to today. There's me. This is my members list. And there's Poosh. All right. I don't want Poosh on there anymore, so Dobber down, Dobber down, Dobber down. I'm going to zero him out. 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. Enter. He's now not a member. And look, all of a sudden he's gone. So he's still doing the thing, but he's not a member, so I'm not picking that information up. Simba, I've decided I like you again, so I'm going to make 3 member slot you. So I am going to change, I can't remember your code. Your STN was 0, 0, 2, 0, 2. Enter. Right, Simba, find a baddie, please.
I have him. Would you like me to lock him?
Yes, I would, please. There he is. That's now showing Simba, who now shows blue on here, while Poosh now shows green on here. Simba is now locking the target. Shall I beat you out as well, Simba?
Yep. So now drop me, because Poosh is still a donator, right?
He is still a donator. Let's see what happens when I zero you out. So I'm zeroing out Poosh. Sorry, Simba. God, it's hard to keep up with. Right, so you are now, if I zoom in, you're still there, but you're green now, Simba. So you are, I've punched you to a donator. So technically, you've upgraded from the very beginning of the mission. Right, I need to sit and pause and digest that with the viewers, because that was just a load of lines and numbers. So what that showed, viewers, with Poosh, already a member, when he saw a hostile, it showed on my HSD, and when he locked the hostile, it showed as a dotted line. So I could see he was locking the target. Then I got rid of him. I kicked him back to a donator so that I zeroed it out here, and he could no longer show that he was locking the target. He could still contribute to our data link, but he couldn't actually show me that he was locking a target. Then I promoted Simba to a member, slot 3 here, and then I could see that Simba was locking the target. Then I got fed up with Simba. I booted him back to a donator, That's the best way I can find, or we can find, of describing how this new system works with and without AWACS. Has anyone got any corrections or information to add to that, guys?
The point of knowing that 5-digit code, if you're playing with friends and or just wingmen as you're setting up missions, if you lose a wingman and you have an available slot to receive data, you are able to add somebody that was not part of your original list as long as you know that 5-digit code.
If you don't know what that 5-digit code is and you didn't make the mission, just go through to this screen here. So that's list, enter, right dobber, then you're on this screen here. And the top one, that's you. I'm 00201. If you want to know what the T is, that's that option that we looked at with the HTS system. So I've ticked mine on, but not theirs. Next, we're going to do some air-to-ground work, and this is cool, and it's mercifully a lot shorter as well. Right, welcome in. If you like that, you're going to love this, viewers. The ability to share SPIs, sensor points of interest, targets, and mark points, points of interest on the ground between members, not even flight members, but between members, remember. So the way I've set this up is in the mission editor, I've set 4 separate F-16s up and an F-18, just to show that we can have an F-18 in here as well. From my point of view, which is what we care about today, I've set all 4 of those guys up as members. Guys, I'm going to unpause. I'm just going to quickly show my guys my Datalink screen just to prove that they are members. So, list, enter, dobber. There, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've got an extra one who's not playing. Simba, I'm just going to set my jet up. That on. Can you please target something for me with your T-pod and create a SPI and let me know when you've done that? I'm going to be busy doing my own stuff.
Alright, I have a house with a chimney locked.
Right, Simba. I want you in a second to transmit that to the Datalink. All you've got to do that, viewers, is press and hold that button for a second. Transmit switch IFF in. Please transmit it to the Datalink, Simba. There we go. Simba is transmitting and that cross is where it is. All I've got to do now is DMS down and down to make it soy with a box around it. I'm going to move my cursor to it. I'm going to press TMS forward and watch this. Oh, that's sexy. That is the house with the chimney on. Simba, would you please create, that's SPI, now please create a mark point just somewhere else, not too far away, but somewhere else. And when you've created that mark point, please transmit it to the Datalink with long press of IFF in.
Mark point's going to be a field, and there'll be a tree maybe like 40 yards off from it.
All right, wait a few seconds for it all to come up. And there we go. There's his mark point, right? I'm going to grab it. Pip, and there's his oak tree or whatever. All right, just to show that it can come from other members. Strider, can you please create a SPI or a mark, either way, somewhere, don't care where, and transmit it to the Datalink?
All right, locked in open field and transmit.
There it is. Right, let me grab that and pop TMS forward, and there's Strider's open field. Pretty cool, huh? So now we've got the ability in multiplayer and probably single player as well. I'm not sure how it would work in single player, but multiplayer to find a tank, mark it or whatever, broadcast it to the SPI, and anyone who's a member can pick that SPI or pick that point of interest up. And if they're not a member, I've shown you how to add them as a member. So isn't that cool? And it doesn't even need to be F-16s. It can be other aircraft that can interlink like this. It's super mega cool. Simba, regards SPI and mark creation and transmission. Oh, I should say, whenever you get a data packet through, it shows on their viewers, and you just cancel it like that. That's to let you know something's come through. Is there anything else on this particular topic you want to add?
Nope.
Which brings us to the last, the easiest and the coolest of all, the harm targeting system. Right, so this setup I need to show you. We've got an F-16, oh sorry, 4 F-16s here, and we've got an SA-6 on the coast there, a SAM system. We're 60 miles away from it. Each of the F-16s is human-driven and armed with a harm targeting system, a T-pod, and 2 harms. Now, if I were to go into multiplayer, I'll just show you single player, sorry. Let me just show the viewers real quick to prove it. I'm going to quickly jump into single player. I'm going to show that without the support of my friends, it's very hard to get a reliable HTS track on this object. As you all know, you've all done this before. Right, so let me remember. Air to ground, turn the harm on, out there. Had, make it soy. Single player, so I'm going to speed up time. There it is. You see that SA6 there? I need to move my cursor to it. Zip, 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 zip. Over it. There, stop, pause. So, the confidence of the harm targeting system is a PGM5. That's the worst confidence at all. It barely knows where that is. In fact, it's so far out, it's like 306 miles. It doesn't really know where it is. Now, here's an awesome thing. We can use all 4 of our multiplayer aircraft or single player to triangulate and get much better confidence much quicker. The way you set it up in single or multiplayer is 4 aircraft either in the same flight or they can be in separate flights. Armed the same, and we're going to add on my aircraft all 4 of them in members and make sure the box is ticked for the harm targeting system. That's it. Let's go and run it. I'm going to have 4 members here, viewers. For this to work, you need a minimum of 3. The HTS needs a minimum of 3 sources for this to work. So with 4, it should work absolutely uber. Right, my boys are in. I'm going to unpause autopilot. I'm going to, on my HST, transmit. Obviously, we need to be able to transmit to the data link. That there, I'm going to air to ground. I'm going to set the harm up. I'm going to go through to the HAD. I'm going to make it soy. That's it. I've got to wait for the contact. I've got to wait for the harm, the HTS to spot the emitter. It takes longer on multiplayer than single player for reasons I don't understand. So we'll just have to wait until it becomes visible. The rest of the boys have followed my actions thus far. There it is. Right, guys. I am going to lock it. I'm still 50 odd miles away. So I'm PGM5, as you can see, viewers. I'm going to lock it. Now, very importantly, once it's locked, I'm going to press and hold TMS left for 1 second to let go. TDOA shows. Now, guys, you lock it, please. That will force a triangulation. There's my boys. And it will jump to PGM1. There it is. I'm just going to pause. Stop. Right, so what happened there is once I set my TDOA, the boys who were members and were otherwise set up the same as me locked the target. The system, the HTS, which is a clever system, retriangulated the position of it, converted it from a PGM5, which is basically useless, to a PGM1, maximum confidence. We now know where it is, pretty much exactly. It works the same on single player, but no one wants to play single player. That's boring. It works on multiplayer, and that's important. Simba, air to air. It was a bit long-winded, but it showed everything I want to show. We've showed air to ground, sharing speed, sharing marks. We've shown HTS and improving the PGM significantly. Just regards to the F-16, I know we'll need to go back and look at the F-18 and whatever. Is there anything else you want to add?
The last thing is looking at your HAD page. If you look over top of your screen swap, it's going to show that you are the TD-M, as in you are the master of the SPI, and everybody else is transmitting data to you. Everybody else, it'll show TD-S in that spot.
Roger, do you guys get the PGM1 out of interest?
No, PGM5.
Oh, right. So this is all one way. It's only sending to me, guys.
Yeah, because you are
Master.
you're the one that is trying to lock it. So we are all donating our location and proximity to that sensor to you.
Roger. So the procedure I showed viewers was to show it from the master's point of view. Master. I'm the one that's going to take the shot. So that's how it works. Right. Very nice. I hope you enjoyed that, and bye-bye.